Hey guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with an exciting video that is a collab with two of my favorite people here on BookTube. I am collabing with Tori from Novel Life and Sam from Sam Reads a Little. We all went to our signing together in Nashville a couple weekends ago and had the best time, and I love them so much, and you guys need to follow them. They both read so much like I do. They read a lot of historicals, but they also read dark romance, contemporary romance. They actually have their own book club together, so if you are not yet following them, make sure you do that now. They'll both be linked down below, and they also both have a video recommending the same trope I am today, which is damaged heroes. I love damaged heroes, and that means that they're like more emotionally damaged. That really affects how they interact with their love interest, how they go about entering a relationship. They're a lot more hesitant normally in the relationship, and so I have 9 recommendations. I know that Tori said she had 10, and I'm sure Sam has around the same number, so definitely check out their videos if you want more of this trope. I know I love it, and I'm gonna go ahead and get to the books. I really want to do a video with this trope because I've been reading a lot of romances with this kind of hero. So the few of the beginning I'm going to talk about are all books that I've read recently. So the first one is Just a Heartbeat Away by Cara Bastone. This one is about a single dad. He's very damaged because he's a single father. He lost his wife and he really does not know how to cope with that. And so our heroine is actually either a kindergarten or preschool teacher, I don't remember. She is in the younger elementary grades and she has his son in class, and she calls him in and she's like, I might have to report you because your son is showing signs of neglect. He doesn't have any money or lunch when he comes to school. He's dirty. He hasn't been bathed. He doesn't have new clothes on. And it was a huge wake-up call for him. And so it was really adorable how they would like write letters to each other through his son's lunchbox, and he's just trying to survive and be there for his son. Okay, I lost where I was. Sorry. My library is immediately above my sister's bathroom. She decided to hop in the shower, so I could hear all the noise, so I had to take a break, but I don't remember where I was. It's now 2 years later. She is a younger teacher, so she's like in her mid to late 20s, and he is in his 40s, and he feels like he's too old for her, but he is definitely attracted to her, and so it's a really fun, really slow burn romance. I gave it 4 stars. I felt like it was a little too slow for me, but if you really love slow burn and you like an emotionally damaged hero trying to recover from a loss, I would definitely recommend this book. Another one I would definitely recommend is Reaper by A. Zavarelli. This one, he reminds me so much of the hero in Raise because Ronan was pretty much born and bred to be a fighter, and he was like tortured and put in these awful situations and forced to kill from a very young age, and so he is terrified of like the dark and closed spaces, and even like sleeping next to someone, he like flips out because he thinks he's back in that position where he had to kill the person that he was next to, and so he just like can't do intimacy or like even touching someone. And Sasha's our heroine. She is a dancer at a club that is owned by the mafia, and she knows the heroine from book 1. This is book 2, but it can be read as a standalone, and she is trying to take care of her dying mother, but she knows her mother is going to die soon, and so she doesn't know what she wants to do. She kind of wants to start over. Ronan's very protective of Sasha. He is like touch her and you die, so Sasha has been in a string of bad relationships with really big mafia guys because she knows if they set their eyes on her, she can't say no, and so Ronan takes care of some problems for her, and they definitely have undeniable attraction to one another, but she gets a little frustrated with Ronan because he doesn't know how to confront his emotions or communicate with her, and it's just so hard to watch them try to work through this because of everything that Ronan's been through, and you get little glimpses of what he's been through throughout the book. I absolutely love this. I love the series. I love this author, so I could not recommend this one enough. Then I have The Penalty Box by Odette Stone. This one's book 3 in the series. I'm pretty sure I heard it from McKay from Oh Hey It's McKay. She was talking about the series. My library, I think, only had this one, and this one, he's a Russian hockey player, and he has some ties to the mafia, and so he is in a little bit of trouble in the media. He like gets arrested because they want him to turn in his friend, and so he is having a bit of a PR issue, and our heroine works in PR, and so they are like, you need to get married to fix your image, and it's a marriage of convenience, and they're trying to get all these girls to apply, and he would pay for them, but like, are they gold diggers? And our heroine actually needs money because her brother went to jail and left all his debt to her, and she's been trying to pay off these other mafia mob guys, and so she also hates our hero. Like, she has spent the past 2 years hating his guts. They have a marriage of convenience, but he has never wanted to get married. He is adamant that he has never wanted to have a wife because I believe it's because his parents' marriage didn't work out, and he's very scarred from that, and so he's definitely emotionally damaged when it comes to having a relationship, but he is so overprotective of her as well, especially when someone starts threatening her, when she starts living with him, and they have someone who kind of tries to break them apart because he's interested in her, and I really enjoyed this one, especially as a hockey romance. There was even some hockey in there, so I highly recommend this one. I had a lot of fun reading it. Then I have Lord of Wicked Intentions by Lorraine Heath. Really, this entire series has damaged heroes because they are three brothers whose uncle tried to murder them when they were kids, so they ran away and they've been living on the streets trying to survive. Well, two of them were, one of them was on the seas. And so their father had died because their uncle murdered their father, and then this girl helped them rescue, which is the heroine from book 1. I'm talking about book 3 though because he is the youngest. The other two are twins, and he had to work for a living in horrible conditions, and he is very just closed off to everybody, including his brothers. Like, he really closes off his brothers as well, even though they're kind of closer to each other and getting back into society. Our hero in this book is just very damaged. And so our heroine is the bastard child of her father, and her brother really resents her for it. And so when the father dies, her brother basically sells her off, and she's gonna be sold off as a mistress. She thinks she's being sold off as a wife. She's always wanted to be married and have kids. She didn't know it was for a mistress. Our hero sees her, feels bad, and buys her and lets her live with him. And so I really love the development of their romance and how they tried to overcome his past together, and he opened up more to her. And like I said though, all the heroes in here are damaged. I believe the first one is scarred, and the second hero, he grew up on the seas, but he's much more of like a ladies man, like charm talker in the second one, so he doesn't feel as damaged as the other brothers. But overall, I love the series, but this one is definitely the most damaged hero of the series. Then I have Miracle on Ladies Mile by Joanna Shupe. This is actually a novella, but it was absolute 5 out of 5 stars for me. I don't love reading novellas as much, but it's a Christmas novella, but it can definitely be read all year round. Our heroine, she really wants to work as a designer, and it's at this big department store that she gets a job at, and she is kind of being taken advantage of by her boss. She works really long hours and doesn't get any credit, and so she's working on a window display, and our hero walks by and he's like, why is she alone at night? He's actually one of the owners of the department store, and she thinks he's another worker, so he helps her and they grow really close. He actually is a single father though. His wife passed away, and he will not even hang out with his daughter because she reminds him too much of his wife. It's really sad to read seeing the daughter's point of view of how hurt she is that her dad won't take care of her. It's like her birthday and she just wants to spend time with him on her birthday. Like, she goes to work with him and that's all she wants, is to be with him. And our heroine sees that, and she only thinks that it is the horrible, mean boss that has this daughter who's running around unaccompanied, but then she realizes who he really is, and it is such a good novella. Highly recommend, but he is definitely a very grumpy hero because of the fact that he lost his wife, and they have to overcome that together, and I really enjoyed this one. Then I have Before the Dawn by Beverly Jenkins, another historical, but this one is just like so unique and fun, and he is damaged as well because his dad left when he was very young, and so our heroine actually marries his father. His father was not a good person in the past, and he admits it, and he abandoned his family and left a lot of debt behind, and he started over with our heroine's mother. And so our heroine, her mother, and the guy that she ends up marrying, so the heroine's mother and the hero's father fall in love, but the heroine's mother dies. The hero's father's on his deathbed and offers our heroine marriage so that she is protected and she has money. They're married not even 24 hours before he dies, so it is just a marriage of convenience. And so he dies, she inherits everything. She has to go back to where he's from in order to, I think, like, tell his family that he's dead because she knows he didn't leave on good terms. Our hero detests his father, detests the heroine on sight. He's very brooding and angry, and because of everything that happened with his dad, and then she inherits her deceased husband's debt because she didn't know he left a lot of debt, and she's gonna have to pay for this debt unless he marries her. So then she gets married to her deceased husband's son, even though it was like a marriage of convenience and they were married for 24 hours. But so her and the son have to get married, and so technically it's her stepson. And they really don't like each other, but more specifically, like, he really does not like her and is kind of mean to her, and things progress from there. And I thought that was a really fun premise for Beverly Jenkins to write because I love those messy kind of historical romance plot lines. So really enjoyed this one from Beverly Jenkins. Highly recommend picking it up. Then I have Tied by Carrie and Cole. This one is really hard to read because our hero goes through a lot and blames himself for a lot. So he was actually in 2 different accidents that left him heavily scarred, and he was responsible for both of them, and he admits that he was responsible for both of them and is horrified by the consequences of something that happened because it caused the death of a loved one. And so he's living in the woods alone, and our heroine has been kidnapped for like 10 years, I want to say. And she is oftentimes left in this well in the woods. The hero stumbles upon her and saves her. And when the police arrive, they think he's the one that's been kidnapping her. And she's like, no, this is my hero. He saved me. She is now, I think, like 19, but she has not been acclimated to society whatsoever, and so her parents just kind of send her away to not deal with her to this place where she can learn to be in society again. And so she just feels lost, like she doesn't really have anybody, so she tracks him down and they have a romance together. And I really, really love this because they both need each other to heal. If you want two characters that are emotionally scarred that really find that healing together, I think you would really love this one. This is actually a special edition cover. This is not the original cover, but I love this cover so much, and I just really enjoy the story. So I have two left, and they're both books that I talk about a lot. So this one is Nordic King by Karina Halley. Again, we have a hero who lost his wife, but he didn't love his wife, and he is a very just brooding and angry hero, and he's a king, and he has daughters, so they need a nanny, and our heroine's hired as a nanny. She is very pretty, and he is definitely attracted to her, and he hates that. So he is immediately like, no, this will not work, no, no. And I believe it's like his people are like, yes, this is our only option, like you're going with her. And so it's the nanny, it's a nanny romance, and they have a romance together, they fall in love. I've not read this book in so long though that I really do want to reread it, but I really enjoyed his journey of opening up to her and exploring like what his past relationship was like and like what his problems were with his wife. Like he didn't love her, but she still died, and he's still a single father now and dealing with those repercussions and falling in love with a woman who's much younger than him and his nanny. And I just had a lot of fun with this book. And the last one's one I talk about all the time, but I want to talk about it again, and it is Earl Takes All by Lorraine Heath. If you have not read this one, like, you need to read it now. It is a very messy romance. Our hero loses his brother, his twin brother, and he promised his twin brother he would come back as him if anything happened to him so that his wife could see her pregnancy to full term. His wife is pregnant and she's had miscarriages before. So our hero is someone who has not been nice to his brother's wife because he's been in love with her and he can't have her, but now he has to come back and pretend to be her husband. And he is definitely very emotionally damaged because he lost his brother. In society, he's supposed to act like his brother, then he's seeing what everybody thinks of him and talking about him as if he were dead and saying like not nice things about him, of who he was as a person, and dealing with a lot and the emotional turmoil and guilt for lying to her and wanting to honor his brother, but also the guilt of being in love with his dead brother's wife. So give me all the angst, give me all the mess. This one is just perfection, and I need to recommend it whenever I can. And those are my damaged hero recommendations. I've done this video a couple of times, so if you think I'm missing a book, I've probably mentioned it there. These are the ones that I've just most recently read that I think definitely fall in this category. I also think Lorraine Heath writes damaged heroes so well. Like, so many of her series have damaged heroes, so check her out if you like that trope. And make sure you check out Sam and Tori's videos. I'm excited to watch them, and that's all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.